Fellow practitioners and man, welcome back today. Got some good stuff for you. We'll get this practice knocked out real quick, and then I am going to get finished packing up to go camping today. So, really looking forward to my trip and really looking forward to getting these videos up for you guys, because I love what we're going to talk about today. And we're going to talk about seeking approval, because I know a lot of you are doing this. And I also know I don't even think a lot of you know that you're doing this, and that's actually what it is. And there's going to be some impact downstream from all of this approval seeking. And at the end of the day, what it boils down to is seeking approval is putting someone else's thoughts, emotions, anything like that in front of your own. No, I'm not saying you need to go out there and be a total dick. I'm not saying you need to go out there and just completely disregard the feelings of other humans. I 100% weigh the impact of my decisions, the things I say, on how it's going to affect the people around me. But there's language you can usually find to articulate what you want without seeking approval and without offending people and being a dick. So let's jump right on in to this and how this is likely showing up in your life, especially in some real subtle ways that you may not even know. But I bet there are quite a few times, if this is you, if this is for you, especially if you even clicked on this title, where you're going about your day and you find yourself in situations and you're wondering how you got here or when this is going to end, or just something feels off internally with you, that you shouldn't be here, or that you're out of alignment, or it's not congruent with the person that you should be. And you probably find yourself pulling your phone out every so often, looking at the time, wondering when it's going to end. But then what happens when more of these events start to come up? What happens when you get invited to that party that you really don't want to go to and you don't say no? Or what happens when you get invited somewhere and you're okay with going, but you don't ask what people are going to be there? You don't ask and get clarity on the start time and the end time. And so then you end up in these situations where you're not actually being you. And you're kind of foregoing your own feelings, your own thoughts, your own emotions for what somebody else wanted, because you didn't want to hurt their feelings, because you didn't want to be perceived as that guy. It's very likely because you're afraid of any conflict whatsoever, and there's a whole nother video on that one as well. It's earlier in the series, so go take a look. But I'm going to give you an example from my life that happened just this past Saturday, and I'm going to tell you how I would have handled it when I was seeking approval, and then I'm going to tell you how I actually handled it this weekend, just so we're real, we're authentic here, right? So my girlfriend asked me if I wanted to go with her to this other human's house. And that was how the conversation started. And I said, I don't know. What time does it start? And what time does it end? I didn't need to ask who was going to be there or what we would be doing. That part was already clear to me. I know who usually shows up at this human's house. So I didn't need to ask about the quality of people. I didn't need to ask about the events. I knew they would be in alignment. But for me, the one hiccup was going to be the start time and the end time, because I had some other things going on that day that I needed to tend to earlier in the day, and I wasn't willing to sell myself short on those. And then I also didn't want to be out extremely late, because I like to get up fairly early, so you don't catch me out till midnight, 1, 2, 3 in the morning anymore. Or if I am, it's for a very, very exciting, like leading edge experience reason. But arbitrarily, I just don't do that stuff anymore. So once I got clear on the start time, I said, yeah, I'd love to go, and here's when I'd like to be home. And I didn't just leave it as ambiguous, I want to be out late, because everyone's interpretation of I want to be out late is very different. For some people, that's 8 or 9 o'clock at night. For other people, that's midnight. So I got very specific on my answer, and I said I'd like to leave by 10 p.m. In the past, when I was seeking approval, I would have just arbitrarily committed to going, without asking on the start time, without asking on the end time, without having much of any detail about what's going on. because I wouldn't have wanted her to be offended or think differently of me or any number of other scenarios about any questions that I might have asked. And I would have been utterly terrified to even risk the potential of some kind of conflict going up. But this is one of the things I love about this woman, is how clear of a communicator she is and how she expects the same in return. It's a mutual agreement between us that this is how we communicate, this is how we articulate, and we get specific. And it prevents situations like this from coming up. So in the past, what's very likely would have happened is I would have agreed to go, and we would have gotten there, and then it would have started getting late, based on my definition of late, that because I was seeking approval, I never articulated to anybody. And I would have started to shut down and retreat inside myself, and I kind of would have been stewing a little bit on the inside, hoping somebody would have noticed, because they should just know, right? I shouldn't have to communicate these things. And it would have made for a pretty crappy evening. It would have breeded disharmony between the two of us. It wouldn't have been fun for the human's house that I was actually at, and it would have been this whole big thing that was completely unnecessary if I had just asked for the details that I needed and stated what my needs and wants and desires were. And I know a lot of you don't do this because you're scared of engaging in conflict. You're scared of being perceived as this or that. You're scared of people not liking you. And if you look all the way back to your childhood, it's because along the way we were taught a lot of times that we needed to ask for permission for things. Like, I bet at some point you probably even had to ask for permission to go to the bathroom, to perform a basic bodily function. And that's pretty weird, right? Like, can I go to the bathroom? You literally needed to ask for permission to exist. And so all along the way that gets ingrained in us. And as we become adults, these things start to impact us because they think we need to ask for permission for every little thing we're going to do. And you don't necessarily. Getting consent is one thing, but asking for permission for every little thing that you do is 100% not necessary. You don't need permission to be you. But I know you're scared. I know you're scared worrying about what other people are going to think about you. Are they going to like you? Are you not going to have any friends? And what happens in all of this is you start doing this like exhaustive mental gymnastic game up here. And you start calculating all these different outcomes that are going to happen. And you forget who you are in that because you're worried if people are going to like you. You're worried about what they're going to think. And this boils down to you not being clear on who you are, on not being clear on what you are, not knowing what you want and not knowing what you like. Because when you know what you want and you know what you like and you're secure in that, what other people think about that stuff is very minimal as far as the impact on your life. For example, I love going to the gym, I love physical fitness, and I love constantly tweaking my nutrition so that it's absolutely spot on what my body needs and I feel my best. Because of this, my physique has changed. You'll see veins coming out of my arms, my abs are visible, and I know some people that will literally not take actions like this because they're worried they're going to make other people uncomfortable. And the truth is, some people do get uncomfortable, and that's okay. It's what I like. It's who I am. I'm not going to stop being who I am. If working out and taking care of my body makes you uncomfortable, then that's something you need to look at. It's one thing if I'm like shaming you or telling you not to accept who you are for what you are, but for me, just rolling up, simply existing, being in great physical condition. That's what I like, and I'm not going to change it. Not for anybody. Because along the way, you don't actually have to worry about losing people in your life. The people that are attracted to that will show up and they will stay in your orbit. And so as a result of that, the people that don't take very good care of their bodies, you won't see any of them in my life. What you see in my life right now are people that have the same thought processes I do. They love taking care of their body, and they love eating proper macronutrients so that their body is functioning optimally. And we have fun having conversations about this stuff. The other group of people that shows up is a group of people that wants to cheer you on because you're doing a thing that you like and you're doing great at it, and they want to support you in it even though it's not for them. Those people are really secure in who they are, and if you're happy and if you're winning, they're gonna be in the stands cheering for you. And then you're going to attract a third group of people, and that's going to be people that are inspired by it. And this is why you really need to get clear on who you are and what you like, so that you can share it, because other people are going to be inspired for it. There are people out there right now that wish they had your set of circumstances in certain areas, because the third group of people that shows up for me with respect to this physical fitness example, I hardly can't go a day without somebody asking me what I do to train, or what I eat, what my nutrition looks like, because they're so inspired by me at age 39, at one point in my life weighing almost 300 pounds to now be where I'm at. They're inspired, and they're looking for similar results in their life. So if I just wore big baggy shirts all day, or if I was still afraid to take my shirt off when I'm at the pool or swimming in the springs, I'd literally be doing them a disservice. I'd be disingenuous. There's another thing that's going to come from this, is this is going to breed trust issues. I hear a lot of men talking about trust issues, and there's going to be a part 2 to this that's just on the trust issues alone. But we'll dive into that a little bit right now, just so you have an understanding. The reason you're worried about what other people think about you, the reason you're seeking their approval, is because you don't even have your own approval yet. You don't even approve of yourself. You don't approve of your thoughts. You don't approve of your actions. You don't approve of the way you're living your life. Because if you approved of it, it wouldn't matter what anybody else said. You would care, but it wouldn't have that soul-crushing weight on you. You wouldn't be altering all of these things in your life. You'd just be going out and doing the things that you do. The reason you have trust issues with other people, the reason you gravitate to so many people that you feel like you can't trust, it's because you don't trust you. When you don't trust you, you're going to attract other untrustworthy people. And when you don't trust you, other people don't trust you either, because they can feel that you're not being authentic. They can feel that you're being disingenuous. They can feel that you're just being that nice guy who's going along to get along. And that makes them skeptical of you. That would be like if I came onto these videos and shared a bunch of crap that I wasn't actually doing in real life, if I wasn't being real. But you won't find me any different on these videos than you do in real life. Some days I'm going to get on here and it's going to sound like I'm a little monotone, and that's because some days I'm monotone. If it's a topic that I'm like, it's actually what I sound like when I'm extremely focused on things. I can sometimes get that way. Other times I'm going to come on here and it's going to sound like I'm just ranting and I'm angry. And sometimes when I get passionate about topics that are really near and dear to me and pulling on my heartstrings, it's going to sound like I'm ranting. And there may be some anger or some frustration in it, because I know it's stuff that I've worked through, and I see how simple and the impact that it can have on other people's lives. And so yeah, I'm going to get a little louder and take up a little more space, because it's like, man, I want people to know about this stuff. What you're also going to see is some days me getting on here and just being a completely awkward dork. Go look at the earlier videos. I wish I had the videos that had gotten deleted too, because they're so bad. You might even think these are bad right now. And I really don't care, because I'm not here to get your approval. I'm here to share some tools that have worked for me because of how many people have come to me asking for help. I'm not here for your approval. I'm not here to just say things that you're going to like so I can stack up a bunch of likes and a bunch of subscribers and be YouTube famous all of a sudden. That's not why I'm here. If that happens along the way, cool. But at the end of the day, I just started getting so many requests for help, and I couldn't in any way, shape, or form stay connected with this many people at once. So I had to find a different way to evolve, to get this stuff out there so that it was available for more people, because that's what was being requested. And did I do it just to get their approval? No, I went searching deep inside to see if this is something that I wanted to do, something that I was called to do. And it felt so congruent with the man that I wanted to be. Why not gift all of these solutions to all of these struggles to everyone else? So what you're getting to see along the way is me figuring out what I like doing on camera, because I've never been on camera before. And so it's going to get awkward sometimes, and it's going to get messy sometimes, and you're going to get to, in real time, watch me figure out what I like. And that's what's really important in this, is get clear on what you like. And if you don't know what you like, go find out. There was a point in my life about 5 or 6 years ago, I would go to every event that I was invited to. I signed up for all these different communities around town, all these different gyms and yoga studios and fitness things and nutrition things, just so that I could get a bunch of new experiences to see what I like. So if you don't know what you like, go try one new thing each week until you find out. It may be you like playing chess. It may be you like practicing yoga. It may be you really like working on yourself so that you can be the best version of you. But go get your experience and go find out. And you'll grow along the way with the rest of us. So I love you guys. There will be a part 2 coming soon on the whole trust thing, because that one is so big because of the amount of men that I hear talking about trust issues. So I'll link that up here when I get it up. So that's what I got for you guys today. As always, I love you. Thank you for showing up for yourself. Thank you for showing up for me. And thank you for showing up for all the people in your world. And I will catch you guys next time.